Hi everybody! Today in this video I want to talk about setting goals. So each year I create a vision board. I believe strongly in having something visual to keep you on track towards your goals. So every year when I create my vision board I have all kinds of goals on there, not just financial goals. But in this video I want to talk specifically around our financial goals. So last year was the first year ever that we created a Roth IRA and maxed that out, just for myself, not for my husband. So I wanted to repeat that goal again this year and max out another Roth IRA for the year, so that would be $6,000. On top of that, we had some additional financial goals that we want to achieve this year. One of them is investing in a platform called Fundrise, which is a real estate investing website or app where you can contribute money and it's all handled for you. You don't have to be that typical landlord. We've been there, done that. Wouldn't really want to do it again. I know there is definitely money to be made in real estate, and that's why this was something that was on my dream board, and a goal for this year is to start contributing to that. I didn't have a set dollar amount set aside of what we wanted to contribute to it. I did contribute $1,000 just to kind of get the account started, and I've since contributed an additional 100, so I think there's like $1,100 in there currently. So certainly not a huge amount of money by any means, but it's something to get us started and something we plan to contribute more to after we have achieved some of our other financial goals. So the big goal for this year is paying down on our mortgage. So if you've watched my prior video about becoming debt-free, the mortgage is the only debt that we still have. And it is a rather large mortgage. When we purchased the home, we did not have the full 20% down, so we are currently still paying the PMI, or the private mortgage insurance. And that payment, I think, is around $48 a month, so it's not a huge amount. But if we didn't have it, that extra $48 could go towards principal to help pay that off faster. So that was one of the goals that we had set for this year, was to pay down the principal enough to be able to drop that PMI. So we calculated out how much additional money that would be, and that comes to $22,000 that we need to pay down in principal in order to have that 20% equity to be able to request that PMI be removed. So that is something I added to my vision board, and I put an X to fill in for each $1,000. So every month when we make our mortgage payment, as you know, only a fraction of that actually goes towards the principal. You're typically in the beginning stages, because we just purchased our home in 2020, paying more in interest than you are in principal. So what I've done to kind of help motivate myself is, even prior, I like to round things up and make them more even numbers. So I rounded up to the next $100 to make it an even amount. So that was kind of our typical monthly payment, even when we're not aggressively trying to pay down more on it. That was just our standard monthly payment, knowing that yes, we were adding an extra 100 towards principal, but that, in the grand scheme of things, that's not very much. So now what I'm doing is, every month when that standard payment goes through that has that additional $100 in principal, once that clears, so that payment is processed on the 1st, so usually like the 1st or the 2nd, that will clear the account. Then I'll log back in and see what the remaining balance is to get it down to the next like 1,000. So for example, I think the prior month I made an additional $250 payment to get it down to the next 1,000, and then this past month I think it was $200. So what that allows me to do is put another check mark on one of those squares to get me one step closer. So for me, it's a little bit of a mind game, or becoming competitive with myself to be able to cross another X off in one of those check boxes. So that's just something internally that works with my brain to keep me motivated and keep me on track to achieve that. So obviously just paying $1,000 towards principal a month isn't gonna get us to our goal when we have the goal of paying it down by $22,000, since clearly there's not 22 months in the year to get us there by the end of the year. So what we plan to do is any additional money that we come into, so hoping we get a tax return, we actually haven't filed our taxes this year yet, that money can go towards that goal. Also, through my employer, I have dependent care, so the pre-tax dollars that are taken out of my check up to the $5,000 max. So throughout the year when I submit those, I get that $5,000 back, and that can help go towards that goal as well. So altogether, the financial goals that we set for 2022 really comes to close to $30,000. So the $22,000 towards the principal of our mortgage, the $6,000 to the Roth IRA, and then the minimum of the $1,000 that we contributed to the Fundrise real estate investing platform. So I'd love to hear what your financial goals are for the year. My philosophy is kind of go big or go home. So keeping those goals lofty and really helping to stretch ourselves. So even if you don't achieve those goals, it's still a really big sense of accomplishment. I did this also when we were paying off debt. I think one year our goal was to pay off $20,000 for my husband's student loan. And we didn't get that in 1 year, but it was still a big accomplishment and a celebration of what we did accomplish. And I think it was $10,000 that year. But having goals and having them visual, something that you can look at and keep track of, will help keep you motivated. So again, please share with me what your goals are for the year and if you're on track for those and how you're kind of feeling about them as we're a couple months into the year. So if you'd like more content and how we budget and invest and all things money related, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great day.